So heavy periods are very common, and that's one of the most common reasons that we see women other than just for their annual exam or pregnancy visits. Heavy bleeding is a little bit different for everybody. If you actually, there's not really a great objective way to measure bleeding with periods, and usually we just measure it based on how many tampons or pads someone goes through in a particular period of time. As an OBGYN, if someone tells me that they're saturating a super tampon or a heavy pad every 1 to 2 hours, that's heavy bleeding, and that's probably something that needs to be evaluated. If you're having clots, that usually means that there is heavy enough bleeding that blood is collecting either inside the uterus or in the vagina and has a chance to clot before it comes out. It's a sign that you have healthy platelet function and that your blood levels are probably pretty good, but at the same time, if you're bleeding that heavily, you're have the possibility of becoming anemic because of that blood loss. There are a lot of different things to do about it. Usually if someone says that they're clotting, it's really the amount of bleeding and the frequency with which you need to change tampons or pads that tells us how heavy overall the bleeding is. I think if you're soaking a super tampon and or a pad every 1 to 2 hours, then it's probably time to do something to decrease the bleeding you have with your period. Okay. That amount of bleeding can definitely cause anemia, so checking your blood counts. A lot of women at that point that have clotting, that have heavy periods, are fatigued, especially during that period of time. So making sure that you're not anemic and then doing things to boost your iron levels is very important.